out on one program give you access to another? I'm Isaac Petcash. Tonight we'll explain how there could soon be an increase in food stamp applications as unemployment bonuses run dry.
Plus, people in our region have received mysterious seed packets in the mail. And we're breaking down what you need to know if one appears at your door.
Also, with 20 new coronavirus cases reported in just Erie County today, county officials have their eye on the fall. We are breaking down their concerns over sporting events at local schools.
With coverage you can count on, this is Erie News Now at 5.
Good evening, I'm Mike Ruzzi.
And I'm Eva Mastromatio. Thanks for being here with us on Erie News Now at 5. We want to update you with the latest on COVID-19 coronavirus.
There were 20 new cases reported in Erie County today, and we've learned that 8 of these cases are tied directly to state-mandated testing at long-term care facilities. And there were 2 new cases reported in Crawford County and 1 new case reported in Warren County. Statewide, there were more than 800 new cases reported and 16 new COVID-related deaths.
Breaking down Pennsylvania sports. They've been given the green light to resume this fall.
And it comes on the same day Erie County officials urge caution, both on and off the field for athletes. We have live team coverage that you can count on. John Lydic has the breakdown of the decision from a statewide perspective.
But we begin with Ethan Kibbe, who talked to county leaders today at Erie County, getting their thoughts on an upcoming fall sports season. Hi, Ethan.
Mike and Eva, good evening. That PIAA decision wasn't official when we spoke with county leaders earlier this afternoon, but even then they emphasized that need for caution. They say that this is a tricky situation. In fact, I asked both the county executive and the county health director if they think that we'd be better off without that upcoming fall sports season, and neither one offered me a definitive answer. Both, though, said that caution is needed. They say that leaders will look at fallout from other parts of the country and then make decisions accordingly. I also asked about sports becoming so-called super spreader events, with athletes passing the virus from one another and then on to other family members. There's no evidence that could happen just yet, but officials also say that most sports are yet to start, and so for now, caution is absolutely paramount.
As more people are together in that type of activity, we are increasing the transmission of virus among the players and potentially among the spectators, depending on how the spectating occurs. I think the best thing is to really double down, do the best that we can do. We're going to learn as we go forward if we can truly continue to have sporting events, even using the precautions.
And coming up at 5:30, we'll look forward to the fall when the pandemic could pick back up, along with the potential for another virus. I'll explain, but until then, Ethan Kibbe, Erie News Now.
All right, thanks, Ethan. And breaking news tonight, as the PIAA has approved recommendations from an advisory council to move forward with fall athletics.
Our John Lydic is joining us now live in studio with a breakdown of what that means, John, as we inch closer to the start of practice season.
Yeah, Mike and Eva, the PIAA Board of Directors late this afternoon approving recommendations from the Sports Medicine Advisory Committee to move forward with fall athletics as scheduled. So what does that all mean, and what does that look like tonight? Well, they also approved return to competition guidelines for each individual sport. That coming in a 29-3 decision, just updated. However, that information has not yet been released to the media. Now, for those recommendations, as we mentioned, the Sports Medicine Advisory Committee that the state brought together has approved a return for this fall. Now, there are opt-outs available, and that means that these are just recommendations from this advisory committee. They are not a mandate to participate in fall athletics. That decision will be left up to the individual school districts as they move forward. They can decide whether to either delay a start or opt out altogether. So as of now, what does the deadline look like? Well, the first start of sports will be Heat Acclimation Week. That will come your way on August the 10th for football, and on August 17th, all practices can begin for sports in the fall season. Now, the start of fall sports, as I mentioned, that can be altered by individual districts or the PIAA districts, including District 10. What is required for that? Well, we're breaking down the options for delayed starts coming up in the 5:30 half hour. Reporting now, John Lydic, Erie Sports Now.
All right, thanks, John. And financial assistance for Pennsylvanians having trouble paying their utility bills could soon be on the way. State Senator Tom Killian is proposing legislation that would designate $150 to $200 million of Pennsylvania's CARES Act for funding for utility assistance. Now it'd be open to residents and small businesses that lost 30% of their income due to the pandemic. The Pennsylvania Public Utility Commission has given the option for customers to suspend utility payments during the COVID-19 pandemic. But when the suspension is over, thousands of residents may not be able to pay their utility bills.
We're thinking it could be up to 800,000 households affected, either water, gas, or electric. So what we're saying is, since this is a result of the pandemic for many people because of the loss of income, that we use some of the CARES money, which would be appropriate use of that funding, to catch them up.
And coming up at 5:30, our Capitol reporter Cody Carlson will tell us how the money would be split up and the support this proposal is receiving. Turning now to weather coverage you can count on. Eva, finally some sprinkles of showers.
Yeah, a lot of flowers, cars getting, a wash today. And Joe Curtis in for our John Stalen tonight. Joe, how are things looking this half hour across the region?
Yeah, you guys summed it up pretty well. We do have showers moving on in across the region, but they're pretty scattered out there. Not everyone's seeing the rain, but we saw a severe thunderstorm warning earlier this afternoon in Chautauqua County. Now that's moved on out, but really the only area we're seeing the shower activity locally right now is Warren County. You can see the bright colors here kind of signaling a little bit of heavy downpours if you're in Clarendon and Warren as well. Traveling down towards Sheffield as well for the night. So yeah, we've got these on and off waves of showers. Could be a little heavy at times for you, but the potential is there for maybe one or two more severe thunderstorms. But I'm not really liking our chances. I think we should stay pretty calm. Just that chance of light showers through tonight. Temperatures right now 75 degrees in Erie. When you step outside, it's a little bit muggy out there. We've got the temperatures in the 70s across the rest of the area as well. And as we take a look at the rest of the night, yeah, we've got those on and off chances. No huge chances of rain, but on and off chances of maybe a few sprinkles. I'll time those out for you coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Joe. And a judge this afternoon ordering a Quarry man to stand trial on charges he killed two men and stole numerous vehicles during a crime spree last month.
Yeah, and the decision coming after a lengthy preliminary hearing today. Senior reporter Paul Wagner says the judge ordered, Paul, 25-year-old Cody Pothoff held without bond pending trial.
Yeah, that's right, Ethan. Mike, the decision by Northeast District Court Judge Scott Hammer came after a marathon preliminary hearing today. Only one charge of all the charges was dismissed. All 37 other criminal counts related to the murders and stolen vehicles sent to trial. Now, wearing a mask, Pothoff was escorted into court today by state police. He listened to hours of testimony from investigators and a man troopers have charged with abusing a corpse in connection with the case. 24-year-old Cameron Zimmerman testified that Pothoff told him he shot and killed one of the victims, 41-year-old Ian Weldon. Weldon's body was found in the trunk of a stolen car that police towed away in Edinburgh after Pothoff fled. Zimmerman had jumped out of that car. Testimony also focusing on the manhunt that went from Edinburgh to Harbor Creek and ended in Warren County. Later, after troopers arrested Pothoff, they discovered a second body in state game lands in Greenfield Township. Troopers say Pothoff also killed that man, John Burrick, and then stole his truck. The truck later discovered in Warren County, and that's where Pothoff was arrested after the intense 22-hour-long manhunt. Again, Judge Scott Hammer in Northeast late this afternoon holding for trial 37 criminal counts, including 2 counts of homicide against Pothoff. At 6, we'll get reaction from Pothoff's defense attorney, Gene Placidi. Live in the newsroom, I'm Paul Wagner, Erie News Now.
All right, Paul, thanks for that update. And with the extra $600 on unemployment gone, some are looking to find other ways for financial help.
And one of the ways is through a program. It's really effectively replacing food stamps, but is it on the verge of ending too? Our Isaac Petcash has been following the latest with what is called the SNAP program. And Isaac, you're here in the studio with what you're hearing regarding this program.
Yeah, we're of course hearing from people that they're concerned over the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, that's SNAP, being stopped soon with everything else being stopped. So tonight we have our fact or fiction board to help clear up some things. First, the big question, is the SNAP program ending this month? We've heard that concern. Some are worried since the unemployment bonuses are ending, but this SNAP program is not. That is fiction. The Department of Human Services told us today there is currently no deadline to apply for SNAP benefits in the state of Pennsylvania. Our next question may answer the reason why people are worried in the first place. And that question is, would the Senate's new stimulus plan extend SNAP benefits? The answer to that question, also no. The plan does address things like more stimulus checks, as we've been talking about, but it doesn't talk about SNAP at all. Now, finally, are food banks expecting a rise in SNAP applications very soon? Well, quite in fact, they are. And the reason for that is that they anticipate starting next month, the demand could be higher than ever because of the lack of unemployment.
We fully anticipate this increase need to continue. In fact, our August, September, we're really concerned when kids are not at school and getting their free and reduced lunch.
Now, in a roundabout way, is it possible that the $600 a week program ending could actually help some people apply for SNAP? Well, coming up at 6, I'll explain why unemployment could have been hurting people's chances when applying for this program in the first place. Isaac Petcash, Erie News Now.
We appreciate you breaking down that information. We look forward to the next report. Meanwhile, renovation work at a downtown Erie facility got a major financial boost today. Erie Mayor Joe Schember was on hand to present a $10,000 check to the Performing Artists Collective Alliance. The money comes from the city's Commodore Fund, and it will also go towards renovation work, including upgrading ADA-compliant bathrooms. The center showing off its plans for future renovations at today's presentation.
We still have a long way. We're going to put a new roof on the building. We're putting new wheelchair accessible bathrooms in the building and a new marquee on the outside, just to make everything better for everybody.
And the goal of the Commodore Fund is to expand job opportunities at the city. It requires a dollar-for-dollar match from developers applying for the program.
And yesterday we told you about a strange phenomenon happening nationwide and right here in our community.
Yeah, we have a follow-up tonight as people are receiving or still receiving those mysterious packages of seeds from China. The State Department believing this is part of a scam. Our Brianna Andrews talked with a Fairview resident. Brianna, she told you she believes that she might be the latest victim. When did she get her package?
Yep, that's right, Eva. She actually says she got her package close to a week ago, and she said she didn't even know about the scam until she watched our newscast last night. And as you guys know, there's not much information about this. In fact, Pennsylvania just had its first reported case over the weekend, so people are kind of just learning about this as they go. But now in Lori's case, she says she ordered begonias on Amazon, and she was hoping that they'd come all the way back in April, but she said it wasn't going to come until September. So of course, naturally, she canceled the order. But it wasn't until a few days ago that these seeds popped up on her doorstep, tied with a receipt that had a random shipment order that did not match her previous order on Amazon. She says she didn't think much of this until she learned about this possible scam with mysterious seeds from China.
Well, what I realized after looking at it, that they weren't going to arrive till September. And I thought that's a little bit late, so I canceled the order. And so obviously I was very surprised when this arrived in an envelope with this little piece of paper to say about, hey, thank you for your order and the tracking number. I went back to my Amazon and realized it doesn't show as any shipment to me.
And coming up at 6, I'm speaking with local gardening expert Josh Skargenski to kind of figure out if these seeds are legitimate. But until then, I'm live from State Street. Brianna Andrews, Erie News Now.
Yeah, are they legitimate begonia seeds? We'll find that out. Still to come this evening as well, local fire companies continuing to struggle with coronavirus restrictions, and ahead at 5:30, our Answering the Call series continues. I take you to the Westridge Fire Department.
And the debate over a second stimulus continues in the nation's capital. We'll have more from our Washington Bureau after Joe's full forecast.